Okay, so for this part, I took the hopper off the top of the burner. Burner is attached to the top of the stove. This is just so I could kind of walk you through lighting and operation of the burner. So with the hopper on there, you're going to dump all your pellets into the hopper, and a bunch of the pellets are going to fall inside the burner to start. When they do that, the weight of all the pellets will push these down flat like that. You can see they're weighted and gravity makes them close. What's that for, you ask? Well, when it's full of pellets, it's going to dump all full of pellets and dump all the way down into the burn chamber down there. And then when those doors are open on each side, this little flap will be open. Now, when this gives you the necessary airflow you need to let the pellets burn properly and get the flames down inside your stove. When this runs out of pellets or runs low, the vents start to close, and then when it totally runs out of pellets, they seal back closed, cutting off the airflow to the stove and putting it out. Now this is a safety measure, unlike the Hori 5 that has that little goofy vent that kind of sticks off to the side at the base of the burner. This has caused many problems, many complaints, many warnings by many people who rushed out and bought the Hori 5 to get that pellet stove experience. Now, I've seen a couple of videos where a couple of people have expressed that they could have died had they been in the stove when their Hori 5 malfunctioned. I'll post a link to that video if YouTube lets me. But basically it came down to a ventilation issue and causing a backdraft up into your teepee and out the pellet burner on the Hori 5. Now, the folks at Pomoly have figured out a way around this with these automatic vents. So when it runs out of pellets, it's going to close, and then the smoke won't come back up this way and exit through the burner and the hopper and fill your tent full of deadly smoke. Not good if you're burning or sleeping, especially. It could be very bad. So Pomoly has solved that with this design. Now I know they're working with Green Stove on this because the Green Stove pellet burner looks very similar to this, especially with this function here. So on both sides you have these little doors that are good and solid and take a little bit of effort to pull down. Now this will be all full of pellets right here on both sides, and this is where you light it. This is where you're going to light your pellet burner from, and I would recommend using a small torch instead of a match or a stick on fire, as you really want to make sure the pellets are lit and ripping and the stove is going before you close these up. Once it's up and ripping, you'll just close these all the way back up again on both sides as soon as it's well lit and burning. It even has a note on here, keep it closed when burning. Well, you got to let it burn for a couple minutes after lighting to ensure that it's really ripping good, and you'll know because all the smoke is flowing through, the flame is coming down, nothing's coming into your tent, and everything's exiting out the chimney. I will show you a couple of important tips when we go to light this in the demo video, but I'll throw them out here to you too. Number one, Pomoly puts a big note in fine print, of course, that you must have a stove chimney of at least 9 feet or a titch above, like 9 1/4 or something. My little Dweller Max has a 7.25 foot chimney pipe, but when I've used the pellet stove a couple of times with just the pipe I have, the air draw seems to be more than sufficient and perfect. But Pomoly does require you, in their disclaimer at least, to have at least 9 1/4 to 9 1/2 feet of chimney pipe, even more if you use a 90-degree or 45-degree angle section. So these are roughly like 11.8 inches with the Dweller. So I would need 2 more of these to achieve the 9-foot effect that Pomoly says the stove and pellet burner need. Again, just throwing it out there because it's in the rule book with Pomoly, but I've just used the 7 1/4 foot pipe that came with mine so far, and this thing gets ripping. Moving on to the next part, we will discuss a couple other things.